Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to discuss a very important biogeochemical cycle, the nitrogen cycle. So what is nitrogen cycle? Nitrogen cycle is basically the movement of nitrogen in multiple forms between atmosphere, biosphere and geosphere. It involves both physical as well as biological processes. Next, the nitrogen cycle has five main steps, that is nitrogen fixation, nitrification, assimilation, ammonification, denitrification. We will learn about these steps in broad in the next slides. Here we have a diagram that describes the entire nitrogen cycle. Here we can see that how the atmosphere, geosphere and the biosphere is involved in the nitrogen cycle. We see how by lightning nitrogen fixation occurs, how the dead bodies decompose and all that. Next, we have the first step of our nitrogen cycle, that is the nitrogen fixation. Nitrogen fixation refers to conversion of dinitrogen to ammonia. Now we know that dinitrogen is the most abundantly found gas in the atmosphere, but it is inert. So it has to be converted into a more usable form, that is ammonia. Now let's see how this nitrogen is fixed. It is fixed using three processes: atmospheric fixation, industrial nitrogen fixation and biological nitrogen fixation. Atmospheric fixation occurs by lightning, where lightning breaks down nitrogen into nitrogen oxides. By industrial nitrogen fixation, we can convert dinitrogen into ammonia using the Haber's process. And by biological nitrogen fixation is carried out by aerobic as well as anaerobic microbes. For example, rhizobium and blue-green algae help in nitrogen fixation. For the next step, we have nitrification. So nitrification is where ammonia is converted into nitrate by the presence of bacteria. So first of all, nitrites are formed. Nitrosomonas bacteria help in formation of nitrites from ammonia. Later, these nitrites are then converted into nitrates using nitrobacter. Now the reason that nitrification step is necessary is because ammonia cannot be directly uptaken by the plants, because ammonia is really toxic. So ammonia has to be converted into forms like nitrites and nitrates so that plants can uptake it. Here you can see the reaction involved in a nitrification process. First, ammonia reacts with oxygen to form nitrite, and nitrosomonas bacteria is used here. Then that nitrite is further oxidized to form nitrate. Nitrobacter is used here. Next, we have assimilation. Primary producers such as plants uptake the various nitrogen containing compounds, and these nitrogen containing compounds from plants passes through the food cycle and food web to various animals, and they get accumulated in the bodies of plants and animals. These reactions are mainly catalyzed by glutamate dehydrogenase and glutamine synthase. It gives rise to amino acids like glutamate and glutamine. Now tell me if you want to learn more about these reactions, this assimilation reaction. If you want to learn more about how this catalysis occur, leave a comment and I'll talk about that in my next video. Now moving on, we have ammonification. Now when an organism dies, the nitrogen containing compounds that are present in that organism is released back into the soil. In the soil, it is then reconverted to ammonia from nitrites. Next, we have denitrification. This is the last step in nitrogen fixation. So denitrification is actually the opposite of nitrification. Here, ammonia is converted to dinitrogen and released back into the air. This denitrification is carried out by denitrifying bacterial species such as Clostridium and Pseudomonas. Now we know all about how nitrogen cycle occurs in our normal land ecosystem. But did you know that nitrogen cycle also occurs in the marine ecosystem? Yes, it occurs in the same way as it occurs in the land ecosystem. The only difference here is that it is carried out by marine bacteria. Here the nitrogen containing compounds are present in form of sediments. Earlier we don't used to know that there were sedimentary rocks which when weathered released nitrogen. Now let's talk about the factors affecting nitrogen fixation. For any reaction or any cycle to occur, we need some optimum conditions. Similarly, here the optimum conditions for nitrogen fixation to occur are soil pH between 6 to 7, temperature between 26 to 37 degrees Celsius, the right amount of salinity, whether there is a drought or not, the biotic competition, and the metals and pesticides present in the soil. As we come to the end of our discussion, let us look at the importance of nitrogen cycle. First of all, it helps synthesis chlorophyll, and chlorophyll, as we know, is the most important part of photosynthesis. It is also helpful in enriching the soil. Now, in the ammonification reaction, the bacteria that helps in decomposing the animals and plants is indirectly helping cleaning the environment. Nitrogen is an integral part of the cell. It is an essential component in DNA, RNA, ATP, so it forms very important building blocks and is very essential for living beings. So with this, we have come to the end of our video. Please comment on what next should I make a video on and was it useful. Thank you so much for watching.